Hi guys, welcome to Best of Guru, and today we have one of the most popular award-winning lifestyle and food blogger, and he has done so many campaigns in his blog named Fashionable Foods, and he is very famous as ukfashionablefoods.com, and his name is Utpal Krishna, and you can simply call him Utpal. Utpal is there since a long time in blogging, and if you are into blogging, there is no introduction needed for him. But if you are a new blogger and you are a new audience to this video, we will know more about him in his own voice and words. Hi Utpal, how are you?
Hi Guru, how are you?
Yeah, I am
And
doing fine.
namaskar to all my viewers and readers who are
Thank you, and
watching this.
also I am so happy that you have given a valuable time for me, and thank you so much for coming.
Always a pleasure to be with you, connect with you, and talk to you in whatever form. So now we have this good medium of connecting with each other on video, and it's an honor to be here with you, answering some of your questions.
Yeah, can you please tell something about yourself for our audience?
Okay, my name is Utpal Khoth. I have been into blogging for the last 8-10 years. Started my own blog somewhere in 2012, known as Fashionable Foods, which was initially purely on food. Later on, I had to branch out into many other things like fashion, travel. So it became more of a lifestyle blog. So now it is known as a proper lifestyle blog because I cover pets, I cover parenting, I cover a bit of travel, food, a lot of fashion, and we also do many stuff on relationships, health, and wellness. So that is all the blog about. I am also running an NGO called Being the Real Human Foundation, which works purely for animals. And I quit my corporate life way back in 2006, 2007. I was heading one of the companies as the country head, but I realized that it is time to give something back to the community now. 2007 odd, I left the corporate world. I tried doing some little business to survive, and in 2011 it came to me that I should go on to full-fledged blogging and influencing. So that was the time when we started this blog, and with my social service on parallelly. In 2017 we decided to float a NGO called as Being the Real Human Foundation, which is now grown. It is there in Hyderabad also. It is now in Mumbai also. By God's grace, things are moving well. And as of now, I'm involved into a lot of PR activities. We are doing a lot of campaigns for corporates like Godrej, Tata, to name a few. And life's good.
You have attended so many events and you have won so many campaigns. I have seen in your blog that you have got some campaigns from Godrej Industries Limited. So,
Correct.
how would you get all these things?
I would say persistent hard work. If it's referring to new bloggers, most of the new bloggers who I've seen now want to get quick fame and name. I just want to tell them that be patient. Nothing comes that fast, and if something comes that fast, it will go also that fast. So you be patient, work hard. Slowly you will reach the top, and if at all there is a downfall written, you will come down slowly. So remember that it's the pace which matters. So go slow, learn. It takes a lot of time to learn. It's been almost 8-9 years. I still learn. I still learn from all the new bloggers who come in, from the old bloggers who are already there in the circuit. So learning has got no end. You keep learning things, you keep improvising, and I still do that. That is how new influencers teach me something, old influencers teach me something. Then eventually, there's one fine day when you realize that you have a network of about 4,000 influencers, and that gives you the confidence to approach a corporate and say, yes, I can do a campaign for you independently, be it online or on ground. And that's how it started. We started with managing 5 people, 10 people, 20 people. Today we are proud to say that we have done events which have got 1,000, 1,200 people also engaged at a time, digitally or on ground. And we have successfully done such campaigns for Godrej, because of which they felt like giving me a couple of awards. So I was lucky to get this.
So, which one has given you more joy moment? Which campaign or event?
Godrej L'Affaire is one annual event, which is a lifestyle event wherein we have people from all walks of life coming in. The crowd expected is about 1,000. We do a lot of digital coverage for that in terms of tweets, Instagram, Facebook, the entire social media. We have so many celebrity social media influencers, celebrities coming in from Bollywood, from the TV industry. So to manage all of them, being a part of the Godrej team is one honor which I got, which I've been getting for the last 3 years. And last year when we did that, so I was lucky enough to handle the entire what you say digital media aspect, uh, which got good appreciation from the people. A lot of people participated in the questions, in the discussions which we had for this entire day event. And Godrej themselves was very happy with what I did, so they awarded me an award for doing the best on ground campaign. So that
So
that I think was a feather in the cap. Yeah.
good. So what actually inspired you to start a food blog?
I have been a self-trained chef since 2006, 2007. I do a lot of cooking. I do a lot of experimenting with food. And good friends like Varun Inamdar, Chef Varun Inamdar, and Chef Ajay Chopra have always inspired me. Chef Rakhi Vaswani. These people keep teaching you, as to how you should improvise and how you should, innovate and do new recipes. So if you're watching the chefs regularly, you can always watch Chef Ranveer Brar, Chef Vicky Ratnani. Vicky is a good friend who always, motivates you to do something or the other. So he keeps telling, ki kuch naya bana. Try to mix two cultures, cuisines together, which I do, which have, work, so that was the turning point. Ki, okay, I can cook, I can serve 10, 20, 30 people, and they're all happy. That you see is my dog. So while doing that, uh, it also came to me that I should write down these recipes. I should write down about food rather than just making and serving people. So friends motivated me that why don't you get down into writing and start writing. So it was a very crude way of doing that initially, because I was not into blogging, to be honest. Blogging is art. Okay.
Hmm.
So and when you read different blogs, be it tech or automobile ones or fashion ones, all of them have got an independent style of talking. I didn't have a style. So when I spoke to my friends, when I spoke to other colleagues, when I saw other bloggers, what it came to my mind was, rather than trying to copy someone, trying to imitate someone, it is best to be what you are. So I like to do a direct one-to-one contact. I don't use those very very heavy tough jargons. So I'm very very easy to talk with. I speak English which is relatable to everyone. So I kept that as my style. So when I'm talking to someone, if I put the same thing down on paper, the housewife or the bachelor who's trying to learn cooking will understand me. So that is what clicked. So people started coming down regularly, even on the days when I'm not posting a recipe, they used to still come back and check whether he has posted something or not. So that gave me the confidence that okay, my style is appealing to people. So automatically the follower base increased, and almost a million readers consistently coming to you on an annual basis is a good decent achievement, I believe. So that kind of readership is there, and when I'm out, people who know me come on their own and talk to me. We know you're Fashionable Foods, right? So that has come out because I've kept my style of blogging very simple, very easy, with simple English, basic pictures, which explains everything. I've not made it too cumbersome, complicated. I've not put videos wherein it confuses people, and then they suddenly feel, oh, this is difficult, I can't do cooking. So rather you put it in such a easy form that a person who's never done cooking is also inspired. Oh, let me try. I mean, at the most, what will happen is I'll spoil the recipe, but let me try. So he will at least come, or she will at least come and try. So the idea is to get every man, every woman, every son, and every daughter to cook in the kitchen. They have to be independent. They should not be dependent on someone. So that was my whole idea. Now, while doing this, it suddenly occurred to me that we should also talk about health, wellness, eating healthy food, doing regular exercises, diets. So I started exploring that, and eventually, that has also come into my blog.
So, guys, if you have missed some of his best viral articles, he also writes to Pink Villa, one of the famous magazines in India. So, some of his articles went viral few days back. I will share those links in this description. Please watch it out. And Utpal, competition is very high in every sector now. But when it comes to food, it is one of the top three niche which has super
Yes,
competition. So how
yes.
you handle all those things?
Okay, now here again, talking about my experience and giving something to the new generation, I would only want to tell, don't consider anyone else as your competition. Don't get into that competition mode. Okay, first of all, tell yourself, I'm my own competition. I have to compete with myself. I have to raise my own standards. So every blog article which you write, every post which you write should be better than the previous one. You are your own competition. So I always do that. I'm never bothered about awards. I'm never bothered about getting featured anywhere. I do my job. So what happens is over a period of time, when you get out of that competition mode, there are still many award functions wherein I'm not even invited. It doesn't matter to me because I'm not in competition with anyone. I'm doing something for my own satisfaction to self-educate myself, and I want to keep learning. So I never believe in being the guru. You are guru.
My
I'm
name
not
is
guru.
Guru. I am not
So
Guru.
I don't want to be the guru. I explain, I teach people, I tell people. I'll not use the word teach. I share my experiences with people. I'm not anyone's teacher, so I share with them whatever I have experienced in my past life. And when it comes to competition, I never look at competition. So that is, I think, the best strategy, because you're free of any tension. You can snore well when you sleep without any worry. But if you are thinking about competition, you will spend sleepless nights that I want to become a top food blogger. You need not do that. If your work is good, it will speak for itself. So that is how, uh, be it for my food blogging, be it for my NGO, be it for my other PR activities, newspapers have come to me, publications have come to me and published my work. I did not have to fortunately approach anyone asking them to feature me. Likewise, for awards, I didn't have to go to anyone and say, okay, I need to get an award now because I've done 5 years or 8 years of blogging. No, it all came when it had to come. If you see my initial 4 or 5 years struggle, I was without any award. I was without any publication. So now, over a period of time after that hard work, it automatically comes. So I would want to tell each and everyone who is wanting to get into blogging or who has got into blogging is, don't consider anyone as your competition. Don't get into that competition mode. Then you will lose your focus on the niche which you're working on. Focus on your niche. Work on your niche. Give creative content. Give fresh content. Don't copy anyone. Create your own style. Write your own words. Give your own recipes. Give your own reviews of food. Make your own style that works. That works wonderfully, and automatically people will come.
Exactly. And most importantly, why I have been featuring you in this channel is about your NGO activities. And one of the thing which inspired me is your Corona Warrior tag. Because last 30-40 days, I am watching every now and then you have in your WhatsApp, your Facebook, your Twitter, everything going. You are helping others by giving food and all, especially the animals. See, most of the people they will feed people. People will be fed by many people, or
Right.
government is there for them. But when it comes to animals and other creatures, see,
Hmm.
we the human beings has to take care of. So that you are doing really in a appreciable way. Thank you for giving that. Cushion for those animals, and you have helped so many animals to survive. I have seen so many wonderful pictures and some heart touching pictures also. I will also share them to our audience. Guys, Utpal also has one NGO that helps corona related things, and let us know more about that thing. Tell us what
No, it
actually
all,
is.
yes, it all started with the address which our honorable Prime Minister gave, wherein he had mentioned clearly that during this lockdown, not just humans, but we also have to take care of animals. So we realized, though we have been serving animals, feeding them for a long time now, I realized suddenly that in a complete lockdown state, when all shops, when all companies, when each and every stall is closed, what will the stray animals do? Because it is these people who feed them, it is these people who give them water. Now, suddenly everything is closed, people are home. So who's going to feed them? So initially when we started doing this, like on an average we feed about 20, 30 animals on a daily basis. That's a practice which is on for the last 13 years. After the lockdown, when we started to increase this figure from 20 to 30 and 30 to 40, I was honestly busy collecting dead bodies. I was collecting dead bodies. I was trying to bury them, give them a decent burial, because there's no crematorium in my area. There's no crematorium in many areas for animals. And just imagine you are into a lockdown situation 15 days down the first lockdown, and suddenly you find there are 10,000 animals dead everywhere. There are no people on the road. People are all scared. They are at their home. 10,000 animals decaying, died on the road. What will happen? Will it not create a further health issue? So that's the first thought which came to me. Ki we are also endangering the environment. We are endangering lives of many more people by not taking care of the animals. So we are not doing any favor to the animals. We are doing a favor to ourselves if we save them. So after those 100 odd burials which I did, the realization came to me that 20, 30, 40 animals, no, I have to do much more. So what we started was, on one side we started increasing the number of feeds which we were doing. On the other side, I tried to make a class differentiation between animal feeders. Now, talking of this disease corona, it's a very dangerous viral disease which can happen to anyone. But if you look at the youngsters, now I don't mean to offend anyone, it is just my perception, that when you look at these youngsters who are 16, 17, 18, 19, there's a tendency to be, slightly throwing casual, I mean, how would I say, uh, they're careless. I don't want to use that exact word. They're careless. I mean, they don't care. Not that they don't care for themselves, but if you come from a feed, the first thing which you have to do is remove all your clothes and put them for washing. You personally have to go and take a hot water shower. You have to ensure that you are drinking hot water immediately, because you may have, inhaled corona.
Yes.
So keeping all this in mind, and then you, whatever clothes you have discarded, have to be washed in the proper way without touching any other clothes. So all these precautions are slightly tough for these 16, 17, 18 year olds. They may say,
Yes.
oh, let me just wash my hands and that's it.
They
So
take it lightly.
yeah, they take it lightly. Yeah, that's the correct word. I will not say careless. They take it lightly. So I avoided taking this young crowd. Rather, I focused on 20 plus. I mean, people who are 20 plus, and I encouraged them to come out. At the same time, I said, you did not fight with your parents. You have to take their permission, see if they are allowing you. And if the person is above 30, 40, then definitely most welcome, because they are much more mature. They understand. Feeding animals is important, but taking care of yourself is more important. So we
Exactly.
successfully managed to convince 500 plus people across all states. Whoever had called me with their doubts, I did a counseling for them, as with, because I'm certified WHO, what you say, corona specialist, wherein we have taken classes on how to take care of yourself, how to take care of the hygiene. So all what I had learned from WHO, I imparted my knowledge to them, and I said, "This is how, if you are able to take care of yourself, get into feeding animals." So this movement started everywhere. My NGO and its volunteers itself, we have done 75,000 feeds. I'm proud to say this. In the first 80 days of lockdown, only after this unlock one started, we gave up feeding to that level, because we were feeding practically 1,000 animals a day in Hyderabad and Mumbai. And Mehreen Sayed, who is our city head in Hyderabad, she is doing a very excellent job there with her team, feeding so many animals, out there. Then we have in Navi Mumbai our set of volunteers who have been going out. So for me, it was madness, because I worked 80 days non-stop, 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the evening, 6 hours a day, daily taking that pain of going out and coming back and doing the whole exercise again of washing and disposing of everything, the gloves, the mask, you have to dispose of. Initially the fear was more, and no one wanted to take chances, so I had ordered a huge set of surgical gloves, one time use and throw mask, one time use and throw. So all this we did in order to teach people. We made a lot of videos, we shared with them, showed them how particularly this hygiene has to be maintained. And slowly the number of dead bodies which we used to collect reduced. Slowly we saw those hungry, about to die dogs, animals, cows, cats, they started putting on muscles. We saw them, living, and slowly we saw that the death ratio came down to zero in about 15-20 days after we took it up rigorously. And I'm glad to say that after those initial 15-20 days till date, we have not had a single death wherever we have been feeding the animals, because we are all giving them healthy food, good food, once a day, at least once a day, so that they survive. The idea here was not to make anyone healthy. The idea was to not let them
Die.
die.
Yeah, that's
So
exactly.
one day one feed is enough. Yes, so that is what we did. And we covered maximum area, because we used to get calls that so-called secluded area is there which needs feeding. So we used to rush there, or one of our volunteers used to go feed there, and suddenly you find 15-20 dogs, they come jumping to you. Normally a person would get scared, but they are not coming to attack you. They're coming because they're hungry. They suddenly have started seeing that, okay, there's no human being. Even look at the animal mentality, they're
Yeah,
also suddenly surprised.
surprised.
Previous day, there are 2000 people in the area where they roam, and suddenly next day there's no one. So what happened to the city? So they are also worried, they are also confused, so they come running to you, and people get scared. People
Hmm.
will throw stones at them because people feel that they are trying to attack you.
Exactly.
So it was a very tricky situation, tricky job, wherein we had to give them love, comfort, make them understand that we are not here to harm them. Then we have to feed them properly, not overfeed them, because that could also kill them. There are no doctors, there are no vets. So you have
Hmm.
to ensure that whatever you feed them has to be in proper portion size. And then you have to take care of their water, because there is no water. In my area alone, Navi Mumbai, that is from Panvel to Airoli, we have put something like 1,000 pots, cement pots of water.
Hmm.
Now, these pots have been put by me, my volunteers, people who know me, in front of shops. Okay, so what the shopkeeper does is every morning he'll fill 2 liters water there, so that throughout the day, pigeons, sparrows, cats, dogs will come and drink water. Now, when the shops are closed, who's going to put water there? So there's no water. There are water pots are there, but there is no water. There's no person who will put water. So that was one challenge, which some volunteers decided to take care of. So using their bikes, scooties, they used to travel, across and keep pouring water. Once they are finished, again refill their stock, then again go and fill water. We used to be stopped by the cops many times, but they are also good-hearted people. They realize that all this effort is being done to save animals. So over a period of time, we saw that they started respecting us. They started giving us a lot of care, attention. There have been cases wherein the cops have themselves picked up our own volunteers, put them in their own vehicle. कहाँ जाना है? Okay, we'll drop you there, and they have dropped them there. कि आप bike पे मत जाओ. It is so hot here, so we'll drop you in our vehicle. So that has also happened. Police have helped us in ferrying our volunteers from one place to another. So that was a big help which came from the police department also. My sincere thanks to them through your video for helping us out. The municipal corporation was helpful. They issued us passes for extended hours past the period which we were allowed to come out. So we used to get those special hours when we could feed. Even when section 144 was on, we were given those special permissions because we were doing a noble service. So that's our experience. So I can say as of today that 80 days non-stop, without a break, feeding animals for 6 hours a day in total, and doing 75,000 feeds is a achievement which being the Real Human Foundation did. Fortunately, unfortunately, so far, no government has taken notice of it. There is no award which has come to us. But honestly, we have not done this for any award or reward. This was only because we feel for the animals. It's a thankless job, to be honest, because
Exactly.
most of the humans may not understand the feelings. We get our reward, we get our thanks when the hungry animal whom we have just fed comes and nudges you with his nose and says the thanks. So that thanks is like coming from God. So that is more important to us from any other rewards or awards any state government or the PM himself would give me. But I feel that the state governments, the central government should take a note of this. Not just me, all animal feeders across India who did an excellent job by keeping the death ratio low. Because just imagine during these 80 days, if there would have been massive deaths across India of animals, it would have created a major health hazard. And already the doctors were overloaded with the corona issue. there wouldn't have been, any doctor who could take care of this thing, any veterinary who could take care of this, and that would have, created another situation with so many people falling sick, with dead animals all over, rotting. So I think all these animal feeders are all corona warriors too, and we should all thank and clap for them. That's what I feel. So whenever possible, on whichever platform, I try to thank them all who have worked with me across India and done this noble service without any expectations.
That's really a great thing. See, expecting something is not a good thing, but you are trying it with your wholeheartedly without expecting anything. Only
Yes.
few people has that mentality, and thankfully I have one in my friend circle, that is you. And coming to roadblocks, see, major roadblocks in getting funds to NGOs is really tough. How would you manage funds?
Again, I would like to thank friends like you who have been there, our own blogging circle, our blogging community, Godrej as a company, their employees, and also some online portals like Donate Cart, Milap. They came forward, they came for help, they gave us a platform wherein we could tell about our mission and ask for funds. What I liked about these online platforms is they were not giving you money, they were giving you food. So when I
Yeah.
requested food, I got dog food in kilos, so suddenly one fine day we find that in Hyderabad 20 bags of food has landed, which is very much required. We don't require anything else, we require dog food, we require cat food. So that came on their own, and same thing happened in Mumbai also. Suddenly we find stock of dog food coming in, which becomes otherwise difficult because unfortunately I don't want to say this, but our own stores who stock dog food had hiked the prices. They knew that we were doing this as a social service. It is not for our own pet. So if I'm buying a 4,000 rupees bag for my own pet, I don't mind paying 4,000 rupees to you because it is for my own pet. But when I'm doing a service for the stray, I'm sure every commodity has got a 20-30% margin. So if you could, give away some of that, it will ease the burden on my shoulder. Rather than discounting the product, we were charged 4,200, 4,300 for the same product. So that is something which hurt, that when these are difficult times, we as Indians should come together and help each other. If not help, you should not try to burden the other person and take advantage of the situation. So unfortunately, that happened. I would not want to name anyone, but that was one major roadblock which we faced. But thankfully, all these things happened. People like our influencer community, corporates, their employees, and such platforms came to our help. So that is how we were able to manage these many feeds and sustain and survive. There is no government help which came, though it was promised, but nothing has come so far. Till date, there is no aid which has come from the government for feeding animals.
So you are a food blogger, and I think God has blessed you to give food for animals, and it is synchronizing between your blog and your activities.
Even today, whatever maximum amount of money profit which I make out through my blogging or PR activities, I spend most of it for animal welfare, and that is without any expectation. Because obviously, I know, everyone knows what will stray animals give me. But what you all don't know is that the stray animals give you a lot of blessings, and those blessings give me a lot of more work, success, fame. Maybe people know me because of this, and this has come to me because of these animals. So I keep serving them as much as I can. Whatever is in my capacity, I keep doing.
Exactly. We have a saying or proverb in Telugu that Annadata Sukhi Bhava. So that is the human being who serves food is blessed actually.
True. I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you are a registered dietitian also, nutritionist.
Yes.
Sorry. So, what are the tips you can give for people who are into Corona now? Which type of foods are good?
Right now, for people across India, I would only tell that whatever you are eating, 3 meals a day, reduce 2 morsels of that food first of all. Do niwala kam khao. Why? Because you are sitting home. You are not. Most of you are not going to office. Most of you are not doing any physical activity. So there's a lot of fat accumulation which could happen. So in order to reduce that, the most natural and easiest way to do that is eat 2 morsels less. Whatever you are eating, eat 2 morsels less. Keep yourself slightly hungry. So that helps you not accumulate the fat. And especially for corona, I would say twice a day, morning, as soon as you get up, and before you go to sleep, have a cup of hot water, plain water, hot water. So in case you have that corona infection, the virus gets stuck in your throat for about 4 days before it affects you. Every human being is a healthy human being. To make that human being weak, the corona is stuck in the throat for about 4 days, as per what doctors have told me, as per what I have learned. So the best medicine is to drink hot water twice a day, which would kill that virus and keep you healthy. Also, you should try and drink as much as a lime juice possible throughout the day. Avoid drinking it post 5 o'clock in the evening, but morning to afternoon, 1 2 glasses. It will boost your immunity. It will give you more strength. Stay home. That is what I would want to tell people. When doctors have told you don't go out, there is a reason for it. So stay home. Don't go out unless and until it is a must, or if you're doing some service like me, or if you're a doctor wherein it is a must to go out. This year is not to make any profits, as Mr. Ratan has
Surviving
said.
is
Surviving is your profit. So if you
profit.
survive, you have done profit this year. So don't think of money. You whenever you think of money, go back and think about all those casualties which have happened due to corona. The person was happy, smiling, talking to his family. 4 days down the line, he's wrapped in a bag and
Mm.
gone. So whatever he earned remained here. Nothing went in with him. So please remember that. Don't go overboard in that hunger of earning money. Control your urge. I know every person wants to grow in life and make more money, but now it is not the time. At least till December, try and stay home as much as possible. Let this cycle get over. Let experts come out with new medicines, some solution for this. When you see something concrete, then take chances. There was a time when dengue was also in a similar way. We were not understanding what is happening. There were casualties, but once we got hold of dengue, then now we are out. Even today, when the monsoons have started, we used to get scared, till 3 years 4 years back. Now we are out because we are not scared. Even if there's a mosquito bite, we know probably we could have a dengue, but we know that there is a vaccination, we can be saved. Likewise, for corona, there's no vaccine as yet.
Mm.
So when someone says, or the news channels show that 1 lakh people got cured and came home, please understand, they have not got cured. They were taken care of. Their fever went, their cold has gone, their body ache has gone, their cough has gone, so they have come back home. But that doesn't mean that corona is gone. For all you know, it is still inside them, inside their lungs, breathing slowly. 6 months down the line, the person may fall,
Mm.
because the medicine has not yet. It is
Yes,
just that your other symptoms have got
it's a
subdued. So
temporary
please don't be
relief.
happy. Yes, it's a temporary relief. So let that medicine come, let that authorized medicine come. After that, you can go out. So it's a matter of 6 8 months. You have to stay home. Think that it's a
Yeah, in
forceful extended holiday.
even in Hyderabad
Spending time.
city, I see 50% of people walk and wander in roads on roads without any proper
Any
work.
mask. Yeah.
They don't even have any work actually. They simply
I
wander
want to
here.
see how. They want
How
to
the
see
situation
how
is,
how Hyderabad is in Corona
whether
times.
it
They
has
want to
changed
just
or
wander.
what.
So
I am really
avoid
worried
that.
about these things. See, if you have any emergency work or the work is not postponable, then it is okay. Why you are going out without any reason? That is how I am wondered.
In fact, here I would want to add, Guru. I have told the people in my entire locality. Kharghar is where I stay, Navi Mumbai. So I've told people that in your societies, arrange for a vehicle to come with your daily stock of vegetables, fruits. So that vehicle comes once a week. Stock your vegetables, stock your fruits. Avoid going out. Even for a small lemon, people want to go out. Don't do that, because this is not the correct time. Keep a stock of food material as much as possible for a week and stay home. Next week the vehicle will again come to your gate. So this has slowly taken roots. Societies have started understanding that, and they've started doing this, and it has given excellent result with 50% of the people staying home now.
Mm.
They are not going out unless and until it is required. Yes, the remaining 50% want to go. They want to challenge corona. They want to see corona. We can't help that. But my sincere advice to all would be, try as much as possible to stay home. Don't take too many chances. This is not something to play with, because we have seen the casualties, right? It is not that you are severely sick and you come back. This actually results in death. So don't play with death. It's a beautiful life which you have got, and your parents, your spouse, your children, There are many people who look up to you. So don't waste your life by unnecessarily taking risk. Do it only when you have a particular selfless goal in mind. If you're doing some social service, then it is fine. Even to those social workers, I have been telling regularly that please take care of yourself first. That is more important, and then go on and do social service. So touch wood, by God's grace, if I could survive these 80, 90, 100 days of corona, it was because I took care of myself. So same way,
Exactly.
take care of yourself, follow all the hygiene instructions. People who want to know more about this can go to the WHO site. There are still some certification courses available wherein you can learn about basic hygiene, how to take care of your PPE kit or your gloves or your mask. Follow those instructions, and I'm sure nothing happens to you. But one small mistake, one small negligence will cost you a bed in a hospital. Corona ka. So don't get into that.
Mm.
Follow the instructions as they have been told, however boring they are. There have been times wherein I have taken 5, 6 showers in a day, 6 bath in a day, because 6 times I had to go out, 6 times I had to dispose my clothes, 6 times I had to dispose the mask and gloves, and 6 times I had to take a hot water shower. Imagine the kind of irritation one would have. Arey baba, 6 बार कौन नहाता है? But you have to do it because that's the
Because
basic instinct.
you have to
So
survive of death.
yes.
So anyway,
So
last
these are
question about your blog, because you have one food Twitter,
hmm,
foods Twitter, or
foodie Twitter.
what is that?
Foodie Twitter happened because I had to open a tweet account. Fortunately, whatever tweets which I did with my initial days, you will see there's a lot of retweets and likes which happened. So this happened basically because I was a foodie. I'm a foodie even now. And when I wanted to open an account on Twitter, the basic thing which came to my mind was, okay, foodie and Twitter. So let's combine it together and open a foodie Twitter account. So that foodie Twitter name became so popular that I was known for a couple of years as foodie Twitter rather than Utpal. So this name I started using. It became more like a brand which I started using on Facebook, on Instagram, and even today, if you see on Instagram, I have a foodie Twitter account.
Exactly.
On Twitter, it is already there, and the same way I've done it on Facebook also, because still I think there is a sizable 20-30 lakh of readership which comes only for that name foodie Twitter. So I've kept that name intact. So that happened by chance, food and Twitter, so that coming together, foodie Twitter. That's it.
I see most of the time you are spending with your dog as equally you are treating with your son as a son.
Yes.
See how you manage all this time and all. So
uh,
blog is there, NGO is there, and you are having walk, chatting.
See, most of the blogging is taken care now because I schedule and plan my blogs in advance. So even if I'm not touching my computer at all, the blog post would keep coming because I've scheduled the blogs for a month's time. So it is always a month in advance that I've written for my blogs. So that eases out the load on me to remember a date, go particularly on that date, that time, and put up a post. So in WordPress you have this feature wherein you can schedule your blog. So even now, if you see, I will have something like 6 or 7 blog posts which are already scheduled. So even if I don't touch the blog for the next 1 month, the blog post will keep appearing. So they have been scheduled that way. Then the remaining time, my first half, I try and give it to the brands, clients for PR work, for social activities, and the second half I try and give to my own pets, animals who are all abandoned, rescued. I've got 5 cats as of now. I've got a dog. These are all rescued animals, and people who have bought an animal but don't want them, or people have suddenly developed a dislike for animals. So such animals come to me. And there was a point when I had something like 18, 19 animals with me, including fish and dogs and parrot and birds. So animals always are welcome to my house, like my blogging friends. Many of my blogging friends who come to Mumbai, they come for a stay over if they're comfortable with the animals. So they spend the night with me. We have a nice meal, and anyone and everyone is welcome to my house. Like I say, I am a disciple of Sai Baba. So this is Sai Baba's house. Anyone is welcome. Anytime you are welcome. As long as you are coming with good intentions, welcome.
Yes.
As long as you don't hate me and my animals, you are always welcome.
Yeah, yeah. That's so nice of you. And you have given a lot of information. I didn't expect this more than expected. Thank you, Utpal, for coming to our channel. And
Thank you so much,
is there
Nitin.
anything to share?
I want to tell you one thing, Guru, that this particular initiative which you have taken is very good. And what I see in your initiative is the uh, amount of sincerity with which you ask the questions. I like that. I mean, I know you for a long time now, but the sincerity which is there in your questions is very good. So I wish you and this channel of yours on YouTube the very best. And I'm sure in the coming 1 year, I will see this as one of the leading YouTube channels of the country.
Thank you so much.
All the very best to you, Guru, and
Yeah.
and do take care of yourself and keep doing this good work.
Yeah, please stay safe and stay home. And this is the
Thank you.
mantra for everyone.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a nice
Thank you
day.
so much. Thank you. Thank you.